Again, my name is Sam Forche, and I will be presenting today about the Job Spotlight. I also have a team with me as well that will be watching in the chat to make sure that we don't miss any questions and take that while I'm presenting. I will also present with my screen. I will do a screen share for about 20-25 minutes showing you the presentation and narrating what you'll be seeing on the screen. I ask that you hold your questions until the end. That way we can gather the opportunity to have like a Q&A session, and I'm able to respond to each question accordingly, and any questions that may come up subsequently. Also, we have an interpreter here. If you need captions or you need voice interpretation, that is available to you. We also have other supports, but if you have any questions, you can directly contact me or anyone on my team, and we'll be able to solve any issues that you may be experiencing. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. Okay, so this is CorpsTHAT. So it's CorpsTHAT, and this is our sign that we go by. See that, that is how you would sign that. We were founded in 2016. We are a nonprofit organization based in Baltimore, Maryland, and we have been running ever since 7 years now. So this will be our 7th birthday this year. Well, we're technically going to be 7.5, but this is where we are. So this is the operating team, everyone who is behind the scenes to make sure that we are fully operational. As you can see, this first two, Sako and Emma, those are the co-founders of CorpsTHAT. And then you see there are two Sams, there's Sam Forche and then there's Sam Bragg. We are in charge of the admin things, and we take care of all the office businesses. We'll make sure that we do promoting, advertising, all of the admin things me and other Sam we take care of. If you have any questions for the team, again, we ask that you hold those until the end. So our goal, what is our mission at CorpsTHAT? We have the deaf community, we have outdoors. We want to bridge that gap. We want to be able to connect the deaf community with the outdoors through hobbies. We provide training opportunities. We have several things that we offer, and today we'll offer the third thing that we have. If you're curious about anything else that you want to know about, you can ask us later in the presentation if you have any more questions about our cycle. But for right now, we're going to expand on CorpsTHAT in our mission. So I have a brief video I want to share with you guys. This is on Zoom, so it may have a little bit delay or a glitch, so I want to apologize in advance. So if you want to see the full video, we can give you the YouTube channel, and you can be able to find us that way to watch this video. Oh, you can take the moment to read what I have on the screen. So that video that you recently watched, that was a video from our crew last year. We typically run two crews, one in Vermont and one in Texas. Both of those crews we're running, it's a total around 7 weeks worth of work that we're doing. Also, as a team, as a crew, all of them are deaf. They're users. There's a variety of different backgrounds and signing styles. We're able to communicate and we work with each other. And we also learn how to become leaders and learn leadership skills. We're invested in what we're learning. We have conversations, we document our process, we develop our own skills through learning. We prepare for our future. So maybe if you're interested in working and, working in a conservation program and you realize, oh, maybe the outdoors is not a good fit for me, but you still learned a lot of lessons. We teach resume skills, leadership. It's more than just the environmental aspect. We provide a lot of practical skills that you can later use in life. And also, but you become more aware of your environment and your surroundings. You will know more. You'll be able to recognize invasive species, how to remove those species. You'll take care of the plants and the native lands that you reside on. So those skills you will still be able to use and apply, maybe not in the field of environmentalism, but they can also apply elsewhere in your life. It's important that we instill other skills you can use. And we're also very passionate about community service. That's one of the things that we pride ourselves on, especially related to the environment, the trees, the National Forest Service, different kinds of work environments. We're documenting, we're learning. And also at home, we bring back what those skills that we learned while we were away, we bring back home so you can have a greater impact on your community at large. And also you will be able to make better decisions and lead you to become an even greater leader than you were before you joined the Corps. Sorry about that. So this is a map of the entire United States. We have Washington, D.C., Arizona. We have little local chapters everywhere across the United States. But this year, the picture I'm showing you, CorpsTHAT, the crew and the partners at the Pennsylvania Outdoors, we partnered with them uh, for the East Coast that will focus primarily, and then maybe later we'll expand to the West Coast and further out, but right now we're primarily on the East Coast. So I'm gonna let you read this. This is a brief overview of CorpsTHAT. Take your time. So this is really cool. Maybe you know, maybe you don't know, but we were part of the Corps before, I would say, 2021, which was 2 years ago. We were included in the crew. We worked, that was my first time working a full year with CorpsTHAT in my experience. And at that time, I have recently graduated college. I got my diploma in 2021. And then after that, a year and a half of COVID, everything was remote and on Zoom and everything was on a laptop. I felt like I just wanted to break it. I needed to release. I needed to go somewhere. I needed to be outdoors. I needed to experience something. And this is exactly what I was looking for. This is what I needed. So I took the opportunity to immerse myself and become really involved in the Corps, which we had a crew of 7. So we had a total of someone dropped. So we ended up having 6 members and 2 leaders, which were a total of 8 in the crew. That's typically the average size that we have. And so we're all navigating the forest together. We're chatting, we're having conversations, we're working together on different projects. So I don't know how to do something, but maybe someone else can explain, and maybe someone else is more well-versed in what I don't know how to do. So we have people from a variety of backgrounds that bring a variety of experience. We cook together. We're really in tune with one another. There's a lot that we do together, and it's a one-of-a-kind experience. Um, it's really impactful to this day. I still contact people, and we're in a rock solid friendship relationship, and I often reflect back on my time in the crew. So this is a typical projects of what they possibly look like. We do a variety of different projects, but I wanted to ask all of you who joined us here today, you see the person that's with the hammer and the nail. What do you think they're doing that for? What do you think they are trying to accomplish? Anyone have any guesses?
Yeah. Hi, this is Jolene. This is my sign name, J on the chin. Just waiting to make sure you're spotlighted. Okay. As I was saying, my name is Jolene. This is my sign name, J on the chin. And when I see that picture, I think of someone removing something from the soil, maybe something invasive or something that's not safe to the plant life around. So this is a picture of a willow tree. And if you are actually able to cut a piece of the willow tree off, it will grow anywhere you plant it. So you can cut specific plant portions off of it. And if you replant it, you'll see willows growing all around it. And so that's what we were doing here. And it was basically a form of habitat restoration to improve the habitat and encourage native plants to flourish in that environment. And particularly to remove those invasive species and those invasive plants and to ensure the success of the ecosystem in the spot that we were working in. So that was a really cool project that we worked on. Other projects we do are trail maintenance. So using a variety of different tools to level out the trails to make sure it's safe for people who enjoy hiking or walking along those trails to do so in a safe manner. Of course, sometimes there's always things that happen due to nature, but it's important that we make sure that we dig out those rough spots or those uneven surfaces. So if in an event that someone is hiking on them, they can do so in a way that's natural and does not cause unnecessary harm to the environment. Another cool project we do, one actually specific example I can think of is a conservation corps that worked directly on building a bridge, in fact, which I myself think is really, really fascinating. But again, we have so many different projects I could get into, and I can get into more of those later in the presentation. Typically with our conservation projects, we have a project on a week-by-week basis. So it'll alternate during those 7 weeks. If you want the opportunity to work on different projects with different partners on the national and state level, even with national parks and the Forestry Service as well, that's an opportunity, as well as land management and private wildlife refuges. These are all project partners that we collaborate with. And if they tell us there's a specific project that needs our support, we go out and do that as a conservation corps. I'm going to give you a minute to read this slide. This is real big picture, so I want to dive down to a deeper level a little bit. Typically for 4 to 6 weeks, we have a typical 5-week program of when we're out actually in working. Typically, we have a 2-day period to arrive everybody to get into Baltimore, Maryland and get settled to arrive to our office directly. Once everyone has arrived, we have an orientation period for people to meet all of the people on the crew, get all of that paperwork and logistics finalized, medication forms, making sure you guys all have your prescriptions filled out for the month and everything else. We pass out gear that's necessary for the Corps and give some orientation on how to set up and break down a camp and how to pack up all of your belongings into a tight backpack. This is a Monday through Friday paid assignment. So you're going to be working pretty arduously all week and getting up pretty early, not usually any time before 7. So 6 or 7 usually. Eat breakfast, get your gear on, get ready for the day, and then we trek out to the project to start work at 8 a.m. We typically have a briefing before we start the project, giving some orientation and assigning specific duties, as well as passing out the required tools. Then we break throughout the day for snacks and lunch and drinks and make sure that we're stretching our muscles. And then at 5 p.m., we head out back to the campsite to wrap up for the day. We change out our clothes, typically have a variety of different chores around the campsite, such as washing dishes, cleaning the tools, cooking the food for dinner time, making sure all our tools are looking really nice and shiny for the next day's work ahead. We also have educational activities for about an hour that I'll expand on a little bit in a second. Once the week of work is done and Friday has hit, we have that weekend and we actually get some nice time off. We don't work through Saturday and Sunday. So that's a chance to rest, relax, go out and enjoy recreational activities, such as maybe kayaking or backpacking, multiple different kinds of adventures like rock climbing as well. And then Sunday is typically a time for laundry. Oftentimes your clothes are a little bit smelly by the end of a hard, long week of work, or you have maybe some time to go out to an area where you have better cell reception so you can contact family and loved ones to stay in communication with them. After those 5 weeks wrap up and we're done with our project, we take our trek back to CorpsTHAT headquarters to wrap up, give all of our gear back to CorpsTHAT, clean everything out, and then we have a short and simple graduation ceremony for the crew to celebrate all of the achievements you've accomplished over the past 5 weeks of such intense work. Then we typically contact individuals in the DMV, DC, Maryland, and Virginia area to come to the office. And they'll ask you questions about your experience. We'll have a slideshow and a photo montage, as well as cake. So it's just a nice refreshment, socialization, and sort of ceremony to celebrate all of your work. And then we send you off home. Here's the campsite. And this is what you're going to be staying in for 5 weeks straight. And you will be sharing your camp tents with 1 or 2 other members of the Conservation Corps. And you'll sort of agree within the group itself who will pair with whom. And again, it's not required before you join Conservation Corps that you know the ins and outs of camping and how to set up a tent and break down campsite. That's stuff we will all teach you. You also don't need all of the required gear or need to purchase all new stuff. We have several different forms for you to fill out in advance. There's also renting tool options for sleeping bags, tools and sleeping bags and mattresses and other types of camping equipment. Other things you'll need are nice sturdy hiking boots that we actually have available for you to rent. And there's quite a few, quite extensive list of things you can rent from us if you don't have them, so you don't have to purchase them yourself. CorpsTHAT will cover all transportation costs during those 5 weeks of your project. And before you are actually hired on the crew, we will provide you a thorough packing list so you know what to bring. And I think I've about covered it for lodging and living. We'll, of course, have shared kitchen utensils that everybody will use for those 5 weeks while we're together. And I think that's about it. So again, you will decide with your conservation core what the rotation will be for your daily chores, cooking, cleaning, and all of that. And you will create a weekly schedule. And then that rotation will switch on a weekly basis. So someone will cook dinner one night, it's usually in pairs. So 2 people will be responsible for cooking one night, and then other people will be responsible for other chores. Then there's, of course, dish cleaning, car cleanup. This picture on the slide actually was taken by me. This was my conservation core in 2021. So you can see them cooking something. Any guesses on what that is that they're cooking? Yeah, pancakes. A little bit scary that day because it was sort of a gamble what we were going to make. Our campsite was really remote. We had to hike about 2 hours up a mountain to actually get to our site. There was, of course, no refrigerator, no electricity, and no laundry facilities or bathrooms. We actually had no access to anything. So we packed a cooler, filled it tight with ice, but that only lasted about 2 or 3 days before it completely melted. So we had to use up all of our eggs before that happened. So we made it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Typically, we have hot dinners at night and then hot in the morning, such as oatmeal. We'll typically boil water over the campfire and have coffee and tea. Lunchtime, we will actually take some prep time at breakfast to prep sandwiches and snacks, maybe apple slices and the like to take, because we don't actually want to be cooking on the campsite. So we'll pack a lunch with us once we don't want to pack it with us to our project. So we will take it with us and then come back for a hot dinner. At the beginning of the week on Sunday, we take a trip to town to do some grocery shopping as an entire group, restock on all of our supplies. Maybe there's some individuals who have dairy or meat allergies in your group. So you make an agreement during the week. Okay, make a meal plan. What are we going to make on Monday and Tuesday? Maybe tacos. Maybe we're going to do potatoes and meat on Tuesday. And so you sort of plan out your meals for the week. And we also do provide a full budget, and we cover all food costs for those 5 weeks. And again, you're going to have to purchase on a weekly basis enough food to feed 8 people for the week. And also that includes snacks. And if there are things that are more your preference and you want to buy on your own, that would be something you'd have to use your own money with. I'll give you a moment to read this next slide. So once we arrive back to the campsite, we typically have a moment for dinner, change clothes, and take about an hour to do an educational activity. Something related to maybe environmental science, invasive species, or harmful bugs to whatever habitat we're in. Maybe we see specific species of bugs that are harming the trees in the area. Oftentimes you'll notice ticks in the area, and we'll talk about maybe how to identify one and remove one if one gets stuck in your skin. Other social sciences we talk about, such as indigenous communities that used to inhabit the land or do inhabit the native land. Other things include learning the environmental impacts of where we are and those disasters and how they've impacted the community that surrounds the area. Teaching and learning leadership skills, We'll also provide an opportunity for crew members to make decisions on those educational activities and step up and lead for a day or two. So it'll be your shot to sort of make the decision on what topic and how you're going to lead the group through that activity. So again, throughout this whole experience, we really encourage our volunteers or our conservation corps to develop their own sense of autonomy and leadership skills. One really wonderful thing is typically on the third or fourth week, the CorpsTHAT team will set up a deaf professional to come in and to your project and ask different questions. Maybe things like give tips on resume building and how to ensure success in your future career, give some time to network. And once you're done with our conservation corps with CorpsTHAT, if you're maybe interested in doing something in this field, or you're interested to find out more resources, you can ask questions to that person that came to visit.
Okay, so here we are now to the positions that are available. We have a 6 to 8 crews. We have 2 crew leaders, and then with the crew members, we will have a total of 6, which means that there are 6 positions available for crew members. The application, we would take as many and collect as many as we can, and then we'll go through an interview process and select 6 members. We're searching for deaf and hard of hearing members that are above 18 years old to join. And then you'll also get $600 every week. You will get a stipend that would be paid to you weekly while you're on the conservation crew. We won't give you cash, but we will give you electronic payments sent to you via direct deposit. So this year, the program dates are June 29th through August 6th. The first 2 days, we'll do some exposure training and cleaning up. And like I said, after everything is concluded, we'll do a ceremony as well. So possibly there's a opportunity you would work on the 4th of July holiday. So if inquiring minds want to know how to apply, this is the website, www.corpsthat.org. And you would see a pop-up once you get on the website. You will read and see what it has, and you'll scroll through the tabs and you'll hover over the conservation program tab, and then you'll click the positions that we have available. So go ahead and read the descriptions. The 2022 is still on there. The projects, we have pictures from 2022. You're able to look through to see more details, at least from 3 years ago as well. So you're able to go back in time to see how far we've come. Click on the tabs, it shows you the programs. And then once you save the crew, you'll click on which one, read the description that you're interested in, and then you'll go about the application process as you proceed. So once you click, you'll see a description. There's a box for description. There's a PDF file, and you can read over that. It'll tell you the expectations of what we expect from crew members and crew leaders. And then at the very end, it'll say click apply once you scroll through and read everything. You have to go back and then click apply. Once you click apply, you will go ahead and fill out the application via Google Forms. You'll fill that out. Once you're done, you'll click submit. You'll also be sure to add your resume, a letter, and a letter of recommendation from 2 referrals, and then we'll call you for an interview date once we receive your application and all the required materials. So this job light is for CCM, It's the Conservation Corps of Minnesota and Iowa. This is who sponsored our spotlight for this evening. And also we have others as well. If you're interested in dates that maybe conflict with what you have, we also have some in other states, the East Coast mostly. Minnesota, you know, you can apply for their position too. They have open positions available as well. So I'm going to give you a minute to go ahead and read this. So you want to know something cool? I don't know if you remember the story about our co-founder Sakio and Emma. They both met where? They met here at CCM. That is where they first met back in 2011. That's where the both of them became acquainted. And then it just snowballed from there. And here we are in 2023 with CorpsTHAT. I'll give you another minute to read this as well. I want to emphasize that we are ASL inclusive, which means that deaf and hard of hearing and also hearing, we work together for around a month and a half here. It's very inclusive for everyone. Minnesota is the state of 1,000 land, and it's a beautiful summer experience there. Minnesota is very unique. And this is also different available positions that are open that you may be interested in. If interested in any of the programs in Minnesota, you would contact Jillian Gilman for more information, and that's her email below. Oh, she was in the same crew with me in 2021, that summer, and was a crew leader. Oh my God, that experience was wonderful. We did a lot of work with the members, and to become a leader and learn from our experience in the crew was really inspiring because we were able to take our member experience and apply to leadership. And also this summer as well, it's really awe-inspiring how far we've come. And again, more information and curious minds want to know, be sure to contact us at info@corpsthat.org with any additional questions you may have.